there's a date coming. A date when heaven opens wider than any other day of the year. December 8th. Most people will let it pass like any ordinary Saturday. They'll scroll through their phones, run their errands, live their lives completely unaware that on this one day, graces are pouring down that won't come again for another 365 days. But you're here, which means you're not like most people. You're about to discover what Padre Pio knew, what the mystics lived, what the saints guarded as one of the most powerful secrets in all of spiritual warfare. Because December 8th isn't just another feast day on the Catholic calendar. It's the day God broke every rule of sin and death to create the one woman who would change everything, Mary, the Immaculate Conception. If you do what I'm about to show you on this day, you won't just receive blessings. You'll place yourself under a mantle of protection that covers you for the entire year ahead. Because what you're about to learn could be the difference between a year of struggle and a year of unprecedented grace. Let me ask you something. Do you feel like you're constantly fighting the same battles, the same temptations, the same fears that keep showing up no matter how hard you pray? Do you feel like your home is heavy? Like there's a weight in certain rooms you can't explain? Do you look at your life and wonder why, despite all your efforts, things still feel stuck? Here's what Padre Pio would tell you. You're fighting without the right weapon. You're trying to win battles that require Mary's intervention. And the one day of the year when her power flows strongest, when her mantle extends furthest, when her intercession carries maximum force, you're letting it slip by. December 8th is not optional for serious Catholics. It's not a nice idea or a beautiful tradition. It's a weapon, a shield, a doorway into graces you cannot access any other way. And there are 4 specific things you must do on this day. Not suggestions, not recommendations. These are non-negotiables if you want to live the next 12 months under heaven's protection. Before I give you the 4 practices, you need to understand why this day carries such supernatural weight. Most Catholics know December 8th is the feast of the Immaculate Conception. But do they really understand what that means? Listen carefully. This isn't the day Mary conceived Jesus. That's the 9 months later. This is the day we celebrate Mary's own conception in her mother's womb. But here's what makes it earth-shattering. From the very first instant of her existence, from the microsecond her soul came into being, God preserved Mary from original sin. Think about that. Every single human being born since Adam and Eve enters this world with a stain, a knot, a separation from God built into our DNA. Every person, except one, Mary, was created perfectly pure, spotless, untouched by the fall. God did this because she would carry His Son, and the Son of God could not dwell in a vessel marked by sin. But here's what most people miss. When God made this decree, when He spoke Mary into existence without a single knot of sin binding her soul, Satan heard the sound of his own defeat. A woman was coming who would be completely beyond his reach, completely immune to his poison, and she would bring forth the one who would crush him forever. That's why December 8th is a day of spiritual warfare at its highest level. That's why hell trembles when faithful Catholics honor this feast with real devotion. That's why Padre Pio said, no one should live the feast of the Immaculate Conception as if it were just another day, because God grants graces on this day that don't repeat themselves. The spiritual atmosphere shifts on December 8th. Receive different orders, prayers rise faster, petitions land with more force, and Mary herself walks closer to those who call on her, ready to wrap them in protection that lasts the entire year. So when I tell you there are 4 things you must do, I'm not giving you devotional suggestions. I'm giving you the exact spiritual tools Padre Pio used, the practices that have opened heaven for countless souls who took them seriously. Are you ready? The first thing you must do on December 8th is pray the complete Rosary, not 3 decades. Not a quick Hail Mary, the full Rosary. All 5 decades, from beginning to end. I already know what you're thinking. I don't have time. I've never prayed a full Rosary before. That sounds impossible with everything I have going on, but here's what you need to understand. The Rosary on December 8th doesn't work like it does on any other day. It's not just a prayer. It becomes a seal around your home, a shield over your family, a crown you're placing directly into Mary's hands on the one day she celebrates her greatest gift from God. Padre Pio was crystal clear about this. He said, "Whoever honors Mary in her purity receives from her a special protection throughout the entire year, not just that day. The whole year, every single month that follows December 8th carries the mark of what you did on that feast." Why the complete Rosary? Because each mystery becomes a living offering. Each Hail Mary you speak rises to heaven with extra light, extra power. Each decade transforms into a defense against attacks you don't even know are coming. Think of it like building a fence. You don't put up 3 posts and call it done. You complete the circle. The Rosary on December 8th completes a spiritual circle of protection that nothing can penetrate. And while you're praying, something happens in the invisible world. The atmosphere changes. A gentle peace settles in. You feel a presence, warm and luminous, wrapping around you. That's Mary drawing close. She's listening. She's gathering every word like flowers you're placing on her altar. Here's how to do it. Find a quiet place. If you can, pray at least 1 decade on your knees, not because you have to, but because it's a gesture of love. And when you finish the entire Rosary, say this simple prayer: Immaculate Mother, take who I am. Make me into whatever you want. That gesture, spoken on December 8th, carries a power that doesn't repeat itself any other day of the year. I.e., remember hearing about a woman who had been struggling with crippling anxiety for years. Medication didn't help. Therapy barely made a dent. Then someone told her about praying the full Rosary on the feast of the Immaculate Conception. She didn't really believe it would work, but she figured it couldn't hurt. She prayed it on her knees in her living room, decade by decade, slowly, intentionally, and about halfway through, she felt something lift off her shoulders. Literally, felt it. Like a weight she'd been carrying for so long suddenly disappeared. The anxiety didn't vanish overnight, but from that day forward, it lost its grip on her. She could breathe again. She could sleep again. And she never missed praying the Rosary on December 8th after that. That's real protection, real transformation, real peace that enters your life and refuses to leave. Don't skip this. Don't tell yourself a few decades are good enough. December 8th deserves your full attention, your complete offering. Give Mary the crown she deserves, and watch what she does with it. The second thing you must do on December 8th is something most priests don't talk about anymore. You need to spiritually cleanse your home. And no, I'm not talking about vacuuming or organizing closets. I'm talking about removing anything that blocks grace from flowing freely through your space. Padre Pio was absolutely clear on this. He said, "Some objects carry shadows. Others bring exhaustion. Others create anxiety for no apparent reason. And way too many Catholics live surrounded by things that contaminate the soul without even realizing it. You know that feeling when you walk into certain rooms and just feel heavy? Or when you can't explain why a particular corner of your house makes you uneasy? That's not random. That's your spirit picking up on something your eyes can't see. December 8th is the perfect day to deal with this. Because Mary doesn't dwell in disorder. Her presence attracts light, clarity, order. And on her feast day, there's a grace that pours down specifically to help you clean out what doesn't belong. So here's what needs to go. broken things you've been holding on to for no good reason, damaged objects that serve no purpose, gifts from people who hurt you, clocks that stopped working years ago, photos that chain you to a past you need to let go of, decorations that disturb your peace or make you feel sad without knowing why, anything in your home that drains your energy instead of lifting it. Why remove them specifically on December 8th? Because Mary's purity attracts purity. When you clear out the clutter on her feast day, you're making space for her to fill your home with something better. Here's exactly how to do it. Walk through your house slowly, room by room. Pay attention to what catches your eye, what feels off, what you've been meaning to deal with but kept putting off. Gather those things. Don't overthink it. If something makes you hesitate, if you feel even slight unease about keeping it, that's your answer. Once you've removed what needs to go, take holy water and bless every room. Don't rush this part. Go methodically, one space at a time. Sprinkle the water in the corners, along the walls, near the windows and doors, and while you're doing it, pray this simple prayer: Immaculate Mary, Queen of my home, purify it with your grace. The testimonies about this practice are remarkable. People report that after doing this on December 8th, their homes feel completely different, lighter, cleaner, like something dark that had been lingering finally left. This isn't superstition, this is spiritual housekeeping. And it works because you're doing it on the one day when Mary's power to purify is at its peak. Your home is where you live, where you pray, where your family gathers. It deserves to be a sanctuary. The third thing you must do on December 8th is examine your conscience with brutal honesty, not just the obvious sins, not just the things you know you did wrong. I'm talking about the hidden stuff, the wounds you're carrying, the twisted intentions you haven't dealt with, the resentments you're feeding, the words that cut others down. Why does this examination matter so much on December 8th? Because Mary is the only human being ever created completely pure, not just in body, but in heart, in mind, in intention. When you bring your shadows before God on her feast day, something supernatural happens. The stains break more easily, the chains lose their grip, the wounds start to heal faster. Here's what Padre Pio taught that most people miss. He said, "Humility opens doors that strength never can." And December 8th is the perfect day for that kind of opening, the perfect day to stop pretending you've got it all together and just lay it all out before God. If you can go to confession on this day, do it. There's something about receiving absolution on the feast of the Immaculate Conception that carries extra weight. But if you can't physically get to a priest, make a spiritual confession, a real one, not a quick, shallow rundown of surface mistakes. Go deep, be honest, be brave, sit somewhere quiet and ask yourself the hard questions. Where am I holding on to bitterness? Who haven't I forgiven? What parts of my life am I keeping hidden from God? What words have I spoken that I wish I could take back? What thoughts keep circling in my mind that I know aren't from Him? Write them down if it helps. Speak them out loud if you need to. And then pray this: Immaculate Mother, wash away everything in me that doesn't look like you. Break whatever doesn't come from God. That prayer, said on December 8th, gets heard with special tenderness. God looks at you through Mary's eyes on this day, and her eyes see past the mess to the person He created you to be. She doesn't condemn, she doesn't shame, she just gently helps you let go of what's weighing you down. This isn't about beating yourself up. This is about freedom. This is about walking into the rest of the year without dragging chains behind you. And there's no better day to cut those chains than the day we celebrate the woman who was born free of them. So take this step seriously. Give yourself the gift of honesty on December 8th. Let Mary's purity inspire yours. Let God's mercy wash over the parts of you that need it most. You'll feel lighter afterward, cleaner, ready for whatever comes next. Now the fourth thing, the most important one, the one that will mark your entire year. You must renew your personal consecration to the Virgin Mary on December 8th, even if you've already done it before. Even if you don't have some fancy formula or a perfectly written prayer. Even if you think you don't know how to do it, right? None of that matters. What matters is that you give yourself to her. Consecration isn't a one-time event. It's not something you check off a list and forget about. It's a living relationship that needs to be refreshed, renewed, deepened, and December 8th is the absolute best day to do that because you're consecrating yourself to Mary. On the very day we celebrate what made her who she is, you don't need a book. You don't need a special ceremony. You just need your heart and your willingness to say, yes. Here's how simple it can be. Speak these words, or something like them, straight from your heart. Immaculate Virgin, today I give myself completely to you. My mind, my voice, my steps, my fears, my wounds, my family, my plans, my struggles, and my dreams. Take me, purify me, guide me, protect me. Never let me go. That's it. That's all you need. But when you speak those words on December 8th, something happens that the mystics describe as supernatural. Mary places a spiritual seal over you, a mark of protection that guards your path, blocks spiritual attacks, draws down maternal blessings. Brings order to your life, illuminates every decision you'll make throughout the year. Don't underestimate this step. It's the most powerful of all four practices we've covered. This is the moment when you stop trying to handle everything alone and let the Mother of God take over. And trust me, she's way better at running your life than you are. If you can light a white candle in your home on December 8th, even just for a few minutes, it's a beautiful symbol of your desire to reflect Mary's purity. It's not superstition. It's a gesture of love, a visible sign of an invisible commitment. There you have it, 4 practices that can transform December 8th from just another feast day into a moment that marks your entire year. Pray the complete Rosary seal your home with protection. Cleanse your home, spiritually make space for grace. Examine your conscience, honestly break free from hidden chains. Renew your consecration, wholeheartedly place Mary's seal over everything you are. Padre Pio lived these truths. The saints treasured them, and now you know them too. December 8th is when heaven declares that victory doesn't start with our strength or our perfection. It starts with her, with the Immaculate One who crushed the serpent's head before the battle even began, with the Mother who stands ready to wrap you in protection that nothing can break. Now, I want you to do something for me in the comments below. Write these words: Immaculate Mary, cover me with your mantle. Write it, declare it, give your life into her hands. Because December 8th isn't just another day. It's the day when God told the entire universe that victory begins with her. Don't let it pass by like any other date on the calendar. Live these 4 practices with real faith, and you'll see miracles you never imagined. If this message touched your heart, leave a comment saying thank you. Your simple gesture helps this reach more people who desperately need to hear it. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're building a family here, believers, who take their faith seriously and want to grow closer to God through Mary's intercession. This isn't just content. This is a mission, and we can't do it without you. Remember, December 8th isn't just a date, it's a doorway. Walk through it with faith and watch what God does in your life. May the Immaculate Virgin cover you with her mantle, today and always. Padre Pio. Pray for us, Mary, undoer of knots. Pray for us. Go in peace.